from Copernicus, their climate change monitoring system, saying that globally it was the warmest November on record. And this comes after there's been a series of records being met. According to the UN Environmental Programme, they said this decade will be the warmest on record. The warmest 6 years have all been since 2016. So quite a disturbing trend there. But to get more on this, I'm going to be joined by the Deputy Director of Copernicus Climate Change Service, Samantha Burgess. Thank you very much for joining us on the programme. We've heard a lot about climate change for quite a consistent amount of time now. Something that was mentioned in your report, and it's been talked about as well, is the effect of La Nina. So tell me a bit about that and why it was, disturbing to see the warmest month on record globally with that in mind.
Sure, good afternoon. And La Nina is a periodic cycle which occurs every few years and has a cooler phase and a warmer phase. And the cooler phase is known as La Nina, and the warmer phase is known as El Nino. We often hear a lot more about the El Nino phase because it leads to warming, particularly in the Western Pacific, and sometimes leads to events like coral bleaching.
Slow down
So
for
in
that as
this in this particular La Nina, we're seeing a cooler than average signal over the Pacific, and this is leading to wetter conditions in Australia, in the Indo-Pacific, also in northern India and southern Africa, and associated drying conditions in southern Latin America.
And when it comes to what Copernicus have just released, we know that the Arctic has been warming very significantly. Also Northern Europe too, and Siberia. I want to just point to a comment that was made in that report too. It says, from the director, all policymakers who prioritise mitigating climate risks should see these records as warning bells. How can we try to reverse this global warming trend?
Sure. So globally, November was the warmest November on record by a very clear margin. And within Europe, it was the second warmest November on record. We're celebrating 5 years since the Paris Agreement was signed in 2015. And the quote by Carlo Bontempo was highlighting the fact that we're not on track to achieve the targets of the Paris Agreement to limit climate change to 1.5 degrees. And to do that limitation, it means we really need to see strong reductions in emissions.